Oh man, so good. I'm Mark Matsumoto, and welcome to my Tokyo kitchen. Japanese gyudon shops like Yoshinoya, Matsuya, and Sukiya rely on cheap imported beef for their delicious beef bowls. But have you ever wondered how it would taste made with A5 grade Wagyu? Well, today I'm going to show you a premium A5 gyudon recipe that takes this donburi to the next level. And I've also got an easy chef's trick for elevating your gyudon sauce. So let's jump into our ingredients. The first thing you're going to need is thinly sliced A5 grade Wagyu, or Japanese beef. This is a shoulder roast sliced for sukiyaki, which is about 2 millimeters thick. The method I'm about to show you works best with very tender, very marbled beef, so if you're not using A5 Wagyu, I recommend my other gyudon recipe, which I'll link to in the description. For the gyudon sauce, we're using a half cup of dashi stock, 2 tablespoons of Japanese dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 5 grams of powdered gelatin, 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil, and half a small onion. You'll also want to cook a batch of Japanese short grain rice, and I'll link to my recipe in the video description. As an optional topping, you can separate 2 egg yolks, but if raw eggs aren't safe to eat where you live, you can also make my onsen tamago, and I'll link to my recipe below. For the gyudon sauce, add the soy sauce to the dashi, as well as the mirin. Then I'm gonna add the powdered gelatin and stir it in. This chef's trick adds collagen to the sauce and gives it the slick, unctuous texture of a good bone broth that'll help the sauce stick to the beef. For the onion, I'm gonna trim off the ends and slice it up into thin wedges. For the beef, these sheets are too large, so I'm gonna cut them up into 3-inch wide strips. It doesn't need to be precise, but you want to cut them small enough so they're easy to eat with the rice. Let's add the beef to a wire mesh strainer for the next chef's trick. The bowl on the left has cold water, and I'm gonna add a kettle of boiling water to the bowl on the right. This is a technique called shimofuri, which literally means frosted. Just lower the strainer into the boiling water and use chopsticks to quickly stir the beef around, separating each slice and lightly frosting it. This is gonna rinse away some of the blood and fat while denaturing the protein on the surface of the meat, which will give our gyudon a cleaner flavor. Now I'm gonna rapidly chill the beef in the bowl of cold water so it doesn't cook through all the way. The meat should still be slightly pink like this. Drain this well so the sauce doesn't get watery. The other benefit of this process is that it separates the thin slices of beef so they're not all clumped together when they go into the pan. Okay, our prep's done and the rest of this is gonna go super quick. But I wanted to take a moment to thank all of you who've signed up for my weekly recipes over at marksrecipes.com. If you haven't seen it yet, it's full of easy meal ideas like these ridiculously crispy oven-baked tebasaki, this comforting beef shank and miso stew, or this easy chicken steak with creamy mushroom curry. And your membership helps us support this channel. All right, let's get this A5 gyudon done. I've got a frying pan over medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add the oil and the onions. Stir fry these until they're translucent and starting to brown around the edges. This will take about 3 to 4 minutes. Then I'm gonna give the sauce a stir and pour it in. Turn down the heat to maintain a simmer and let the onions cook until they're tender and the sauce is thickened up a bit. This will take another 4 to 5 minutes. Once it's looking like this, add the blanched Wagyu to the pan and stir the slices of beef into the sauce to coat it evenly while cooking the meat through. When the beef is no longer pink, our gyudon is done. To serve this, I've got about 180 grams of cooked short grain rice in a bowl, and I'm gonna top it with half of our beef and onions. Be sure to pour some of that luscious gyudon sauce over everything so it can percolate into the rice. To make this a little extra, I'm gonna top this with a raw egg yolk, but this is totally optional. Let's add a sprig of mitsuba for a pop of color, and my ultra luxurious A5 gyudon recipe is done! This looks and smells like heaven, so let's try it out. Itadakimasu! Oh man, even the bowl is luxurious. Alright, I'm gonna break the egg and get it all over that beef, and we're going with a bite of beef and some rice. So first of all, that beef just melts in your mouth. It's coated with that rich, creamy egg, and that gelatin in the gyudon sauce has thickened it just enough to percolate down onto the rice and coat each grain with that wonderful flavor. And because we've used A5 Wagyu, it's just barely cooked, which makes it super soft and creamy. It's the perfect leveled up version of a fast food gyudon, so I hope you'll give it a try. So good. Well, I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy the rest of my gyudon, but check out this playlist for all of my easy donburi recipes, and I'll catch you in the next one.